Worried about inflation? How do you prepare for so many financial uncertainties? Welcome to the show that will help you develop your game plan. The Financial Quarterback with Josh Jelinski. Josh is a noted financial advisor and president of the Jelinski Advisory Group, and he's here to answer your questions. Call into the show at 800-321-0710. 800-321-0710. Now, let's kick off your financial future. Here's Josh Jelinski.
In the $550 million Mega Millions jackpot on Tuesday, well, the glass half full view, phew, you dodged a tax bill. But first, and we're going to talk about environmental, social, and governance. The latest scam to come out of D.C. that will affect your 401k. But first, Don, go ahead, Don.
Hi, Josh. I have a question. I have a tradition. I'm one of your clients, and I have a traditional IRA and a 401k IRA that I opened up earlier this year and I made a contribution to. Now, being as there are some decent losses, I should say decent, but losses in my traditional IRA. If I decide to make a contribution to the Roth, is my tax bill diminished, or is it pretty much forgotten because capital losses?
Well, the benefit of doing a conversion while accounts are lower due to the market crisis is you actually pay tax on a lower number when you're doing the Roth conversion. So doing a Roth conversion when accounts are lower. So if you have, let's say you have $100,000 in a Roth conversion, you would be paying tax on the $100,000. So when you convert, you pay tax dollars.
Okay, even though it's considered a loss.
No, there's no losses with IRAs. You can only take a loss from non-IRAs. The benefit of doing a Roth conversion, because market's lower, is if the market goes from 200 to 100, right? Then the next time it grows from 100 to 200, when the market rebounds, I'm just using it as a round number, you basically would then have all of that growth tax-free for the rest of your life and your spouse's life, and over 10 years. So the benefit of a Roth conversion is the lowered taxes because account values are lowered. Not that you're not taking winners against losers like in a brokerage account.
Okay, so I'm paying taxes no matter what, even though it's at a loss. I see. I thought it might be like a standard securities transaction.
Yeah, the benefit of doing a Roth conversion now is then you're taxed on a lowered amount. You can only write off winners and losers within a non-deductible kind of brokerage account. So hope that helps you.
I understand. I just, last segment when you said that, when you were talking about the making the contributions, that kind of came up. I was like, oh, maybe I might be able to get in scot-free with a conversion.
Yeah, that would be nice. Now, there are ways to offset that tax bill, like gifts to charity, charitable remainder trusts, buying certain real estate deals through a cost segregation. So there are ways to save taxes on that, but generally it involves purchasing real estate, purchasing a business, or gifts to charity. And those are some of the tax saving strategies that we can give you if you call us at 800-888-988. Josh would love to share that with you.
All right. Thanks for taking my call, Josh.
Sure. Thanks for everything. So next up, we have your calls at 800-321-0710. If you have questions on stocks, bonds, annuities, mutual funds, Juliana, who's a CPA, had a comment on those claiming the home office and doing rental on their home should watch out for capital gains exemption. Juliana, do you want to comment on that? Okay. Next up, we're going to go to the phone lines at 800-321-0710. 800-321-0710. Now, even after a big tax bill, the windfall could be more than most people see in a lifetime. It's recommended that the jackpot winners assemble a team of professionals to help navigate the claiming process, including an attorney, a financial advisor, and a tax advisor. Now, from CNBC, you get another shot in the next drawing to land a windfall, and then give a boatload of it to Uncle Sam. The National Lottery top prize has rolled even further past the $500 million mark and is worth an estimated $630 million for Friday night's pull. Now, I'm going to tell you about a jackpot first before we go to this Mega Millions story. The jackpot is exactly what last caller was alluding to. Things are on sale. Things are on sale. Stocks are on sale. Stocks that you've been waiting to buy, that you said, oh, I wish I bought Apple at this price. I wish I bought Meta at this price. I wish I bought Google at this price. You know what? Now things are a bargain. Now, it doesn't mean they can't get cheaper. Sure, I could see another 10, 20% in losses from here. But here's the thing. It's nearly impossible to time the exact bottoms. So you got to be in it to win it by value. And folks, we're in one of the only businesses when things go on sale, people get scared and leave the department store. Things are on sale. There's a Black Friday deal in the market. Now, could things go down further? Sure, you betcha. Should you mind your risk tolerance? You know, somebody said a question, I don't know if you had this question, Ben, or if, is the 60-40 portfolio dead? Well, in my book, Retirement Reality Check, which you can go to Retirement Reality Check, buy my book, you get 3 free gifts when you do so today, retirementrealitycheck.com. One of the questions was, is the 60-40 portfolio dead? And you know what? The 60-40 portfolio has been dead since 2008 when stocks went down and bonds went down. And frankly, in 2020 crash of COVID. And then in the last 6 months, bond funds are down considerably. But there are deals. There are deals to be had. It's a great time to think about a Roth conversion. Why do you do a Roth? You don't do a Roth to avoid taxes. You do a Roth so that all of the growth is subject to no taxes. And then your spouse gets that money tax-free, and your kids get it tax-free for up to 10 years. So there's a hidden jackpot. Market's on sale. Are you looking at new deals in the market? If not, call us 888-988-JOSH for our free portfolio review, and you'll get the 15 ways to save taxes guide. Now, the Mega Millions jackpot had no winner. So the jackpot is swelling to $790 million. So what if you were the person to win? You know, I refuse. You doing the Mega Millions, Jim?
No.
I refuse. It's idiocy. It's a tax on the poor and the dumb. Now, occasionally you'll get it, but we'll see. So if won, this new jackpot of $790 million would be the largest prize ever. But apparently, according to this article, when it was 630, it would not be at the 10 biggest of all time. So I think the new one at 790 will be. It would be a sizable tax bill, whether the prize is taken as an annuity of 30 payments over 29 years, or as an immediate reduced cash lump sum. Taxes end up taking a bite out of any winnings. $86.3 million would be withheld right off the bat. So here's the thing. Would you take the lump sum or the annuity? That's the question of the day. Would you take the lump sum or the annuity? Now, I would take the annuity. Why? It's 30 years of guaranteed payments. Could go to your heirs. And it gives your heirs 30 years to come up with ideas for that money. That's the thing is, what would you do with all that money? Well, to lower your tax bill, you'd buy businesses. You'd buy real estate. You would look at Roths and Roth 401ks and defined benefit pension plans. So it would allow you to spread that tax bill a little bit better. 86 million would come right off the bat. This was the numbers back when it was 630. Now it's even bigger. For this $630 million jackpot, the cash option, which most winners choose, is $359 million. Now that shows you how illiterate people are financially. You know why? Because you could go to a bank and you could use your annuity payments as collateral. So you could buy a bigger business and use that purchase to be offsetting the tax. But that's why. If you win the lottery, call me. 888-988-JOSH. Now, a mandatory 24% federal tax withholding on that amount would reduce your winnings by $86.3 million. And when we return from the break, we'll be back with more of your calls at 800-321-0710, 800-321-0710. We'll be back with your answer to the following question. If you had won the lottery, and type it in the Clubhouse chat box if you don't want to talk, would you prefer lump sum or annuity? When we return, this is Josh Chilinsky, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Tune in to the financial quarterback, Josh Jelinsky of the Jelinsky Advisory Group this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future during these turbulent times. Looking to lower your taxes or need help securing your financial future? Then Josh and his team are the people for you. They're experts in financial economics with one mission in mind, to protect you and your investments. From their 27-point checklist to their one-of-a-kind financial quarterback approach, they help you achieve financial health and guide you through the hard times of high inflation, looming recessions, and stock market meltdown. For financial security, call them now, 888-988-5674, and get your free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinsky, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future in times like these. Tune in this weekend to the Financial Quarterback to hear how Josh and his team can help you decrease your tax liability and lower your risk. Call 888-988-5674.
Stand by.
Josh's 27-point plan to achieve financial health. And when you call, you'll receive a free copy of Josh's book, Retirement Reality Check. Tune in every weekend to the Financial Quarterback and call 888-988-5674 to receive your free copy of Retirement Reality Check.
Next up, we're going to go to Harold. Harold, would you take the lump sum or the annuity option, and why? Go ahead, Harold. You're on. Okay. Next up, we'll go to Tobias. Tobias, would you take the lump sum or the annuity option if you won the lottery? Most take the lump sum.
Yeah, I'm busy right now, but I heard what you were saying about the annuity option. So I think I would probably take the lump sum because I don't know if that it'll be there 30 years, but who knows? I mean, maybe I could allocate the resources better. But if we don't have our situation all together, and my kids are young, so it's interesting, that you say that. So just take the contributions over time.
Jennifer, lump sum or annuity option?
I think I'd probably do the lump sum, just have it one and done.
But according to this, you'd probably owe about $300 million. So You would get $359 million as a cash option. Well, no, then you got taxes. So state and federal taxes on the 359, you would net out to be, let's say you're at a 40% state and federal bracket, you would get $215 million.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Would I be able to donate part of it to offset those taxes on a lottery win?
Sure, but that's where the annuity option, and this goes for people with $2 million in a 401k, because a lot of that people have the same problem when they hit that 72 age, where they hit retirement, then they have to extract money from the 401k and then they pay tax on that. So a key way as you're building wealth is to build, the financial planning import of the story is build tax-free streams of income. So when you retire, you're building yourself your own annuity that you control, that you can build out tax-free. And if you want help with that, call me at 888-988-JOSH. But generally, yeah, you could do charitable remainder trusts. So you could take that lump sum, right, of $359, put the entire thing in a charitable remainder unit trust, get income for life. The income would be taxable, but the lump sum wouldn't be. That's a way to kind of have control over it. But then when you die, that $350 million would go to charity.
Fantastic.
But you could do that in increments too. Like you could say, if we're bringing it down to more regular people, if you have $1 million in your 401k, you could say, hey, I want to put 100 grand in charity. Then that 100 grand offsets 100 grand of Roth conversion. So you have 200 of your million essentially being tax-free, and you are mitigating what is going to the IRS. So it's kind of a cool thing to think about. Would you consider the annuity? A lot of people don't even know about annuities, or they view annuities as a curse word. All an annuity is, it's from the Latin annum, where the Roman soldiers would receive an annual payment when they would come home from their tour of duty with Caesar. So lump sum or annuity option. And then we're going to go to the YouTube chat box. What about lump sum and create your own annuity? It's a good point. One half create annuity, the other half in the market. I like that idea. I generally like that idea for people right now who don't know which way the market's going, meaning we have a lot of clients who say they have $2 million in IRA and they want to take $1 million and they want to guarantee that. Or you might have $500,000 in IRA, you might have $250,000, and you may not have the stomach with the market going down so much. So you know what? Insure yourself a paycheck or a playcheck. As Tom Hegna says, the beauty of an annuity is you get C-rated yields from A-plus rated companies. What that means is you can get 5-6% yields for life for you and your spouse. Now there are terms, you got to hold it for a period of time, all that stuff. There might be internal fees, you got to watch that, surrender charges if you cancel. But really the end goal for retirement planning is an annuity. It's an inflation adjusted annuity. So you might have stocks in there for a portion to win the war on inflation. You might have a low cost or a no fee annuity. By the way, you can get zero internal fee annuities. Now I've seen, when we have people call us at 888-988-JOSH for the review, I've seen annuities with fees as high as 4.4%. But the ones we look at typically 1.5 or less in internal fees. And for those of you very cheap, you can get ones that are, cheaper than a no-load mutual fund in internal expenses. Now, generally, you have to keep them, and you can't take more than 10% out a year. That's called the 10% penalty-free withdrawal. So we're going to go next to Tobias, who had a question about Roths. Go ahead. And folks, if you have a question right now for me, we are live, unscripted, uncensored, taking your calls at 800-321-0710. You get to ask me any financial education question. Other shows are canned. Other shows, they're doing away with the host. You know, there's a great long time show, heard the host was on 2 hours, now they're getting 1. You know what, Jim? You're not replacing me. You know what, Ben? You're not replacing me for hour 2 of the show. So, we love you.
I love it, man.
But you're not replacing me. I'm doing live 2 hours. But no, there are people on the radio, it's canned, scripted to make the host sound good. Because, you know, I've been doing live radio for a long time, at least 14 years, answering questions every week faithfully. And, you know, sometimes somebody stumps me and I say, I don't know the answer. Most times people don't, though. So, Tobias, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a simple question. I didn't look it up, but maybe you know off the top of your head, is contributions to an IRA different if you're doing it through your business? Could you do like more than the 6,000 individual contribution?
Oh, that is a dynamite question. If you own your own business, right? I think I remember, I know you. So
yeah,
you own your own business. You started the ATM business, right? Or the Bitcoin
right,
ATM business. That's cool. So you can create a Roth 401k for your business. And we even have relationships with certain pension providers where you can even have Bitcoin within it. So Roth 401ks, that money grows tax-free. You can pull it out tax-free, and you can have the max on a 401k. So you can put in $20,500, and that money grows tax-free for life, which helps you offset the inflation erosion that we were talking about. Meaning that if all of these tax thresholds stay flat and asset values go up, the government essentially is extracting double. Get this, they're extracting double from the average person when they sell their home. They're extracting double when they sell their house, their beach house, their vacation home, their second property. That Disney stock, they're getting double the revenue from the same middle class person because they've kept the threshold the same. But the RMDs keep going up. Inflation keeps going up. The amount you're forced to take out keeps going up. But the tax threshold is staying the same. So, interesting point. But yeah, consider Roth 401ks. And then what's kind of cool is you could, if you need greater deductions, you could look at DB plans. Now, I get some people say, well, I don't trust the government. So why should I go in bed with them on a plan? You know what? You're kind of in bed with them anyway. You know what I mean? So you got to learn. You have to learn the rules to take advantage of them, basically. You know. Next up, we have Augusto, who says, I have a traditional 401k. He's typing in on the YouTube chat box. I have a traditional 401k. I just quit my job, and I'll be starting another job next month. This will be a good time to start a Roth IRA. Yes. Make sure if you're a free agent, you remain so until you do an analysis of the fees and expenses on the old 401k versus the new versus an IRA that you can control and have freedom of choice. One of the negative consequences, and the title of the room was ESG investing. I got to go to this. But if you think about this, the government is controlling what we're doing anyway. Not in a conspiratorial theory, but they control the tax rates. They sort of control inflation, right? Because they print all this money. So what do? Well, you learn the rules and you have them work for you. So we got a lot to talk about. We're talking about the Mega Millions jackpot. We're talking about ESG investing. There was a recent Wall Street Journal article on this that the government is encouraging, to use their quote. I'm going to go to my buddy Mike. You know who you are. My buddy Mike said, I would shout this from the rooftop on your show today from the July 20th edition of the Wall Street Journal. Biden's ESG tax on your retirement. A Labor Department rule would push fiduciaries to favor climate policies over the interests of investors. This is an unlegislated. Do we live in Russia? Are we as bad as Putin now? We're now mandating what funds you have to go into. And here's the other thing. I don't even think they allow Tesla to be an ESG. Tesla is the top ESG stock that I can even recall because it's done more to limit fossil fuels. Why is that? Then they're going to go after every business owner who's conservative. They're going to go after every person who believes in gun ownership. They're going to go after any company that's pro-life. They're going to go after any, and then they're going to say, oh, well, you need on the board, you need woke policies, or you're going to get a special ESG tax for being a non-compliant citizen. But who defines the citizenship? Who defines what ESG is? The government. I do not believe in this, but I bet most of you don't even know the government had a comment period and most of you didn't comment on it. We talked about this, went over people's heads. I guess. I think today I talk about it. I talk about this regularly. He said, you got to talk about this. I've been talking about it. Nobody cares. Did you comment? Did you comment on the comment period on the SEC website, Jim? No, nobody did. And sad to say, I think I did, but it was very, weak. It was like a one-sentence comment. Meanwhile, they had the Sierra Club. They had all these leftist organizations who have millions of dollars funded by endowments because they're nonprofit. But who defines a nonprofit? Do you think it's going to be a conservative nonprofit? No. It's going to be a pro-environment, pro-abortion, pro-gun control policies will be taken up, and that's what this ESG means. ESG has nothing to do with environmental, social, and governance unless you are the one in charge defining what ESG means. Now, I'm all for freedom, right? So if you want to have a leftist organization that gives to the environment in a certain way, God bless you. If you want clean oceans and picking out plastic in the ocean, I'm all for that. That's not what this means. It's the government then is determining the winners and the losers. Now you think, well, how do we stop this? We got to talk to your congressmen, senators, and say, stop it. Because it is a Labor Department rule. So these things are going into effect. And, we're an SEC registered investment advisor. If they pass a rule, we got to follow it. I'm not going to get fined. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to have compliance via fine because people don't care about this. Do you care about it? Give us a call. 800-321-0710. Or maybe you don't care about it. Maybe it's a boring subject. So give us a call. I want to get your opinion. 800-321-0710. But this is the point. 401ks, Roths, really anything, you have a silent partner, the IRS. So you need to look at ways to mitigate the amount that they get their hands off. Obama did this with the fiduciary rule in 2012. Now, we are fee-based fiduciaries, meaning we do not make commissions that are firm wealth quarterback. If it's $5 a trade, that's the cost. There's no, $50 markup or anything like that. We have commission-free trading where, it's $5 to $7 if it's paper, but if you're paperless, no charge. That's a beautiful thing. And then we just charge our fiduciary fee on there. We act according to the best interest of the consumer and your risk profile. And a lot of people don't realize that the fiduciary rule, they think, oh, that means my advisor has to act in my best interest. But that's not how it's come down through legislation. It means there's a certain menu at your 401k. So you might go, I only have 10 choices on my 401k. My 401k stinks. That's why. It's a 2012 rule passed by the Labor Department that every 401k in America has to follow or else they get fined. So that's what they're doing with these ESG narratives. And that's what they did in 2012 with Obama. Trump didn't get rid of that. Most people don't even read, this stuff. Most people don't even know about ESG. They think it sounds, I'm pro-environment. Okay, I want clean drinking water too. I don't want pollution. I'm not saying that. Those are good things. But we can legislate via our wallet, via free market policies, not through these very onerous rules. And that will spell doom for a lot of industries. I'm Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Make sure you call us at 888-988-JOSH for the 15 Ways to Save Taxes guide. This is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Tune in to the financial quarterback Josh Jelinski this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future in a down economy. Josh and his team at the Jelinski Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and lower your risk in these uncertain times with a 27-point checklist designed to improve your financial health. Whether you're right back. Prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown. Tune into the financial quarterback and count on Josh Jelinski to call the play. For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check, call 888-988-5674. That's 888-988-5674. Or visit Jelinski.org. That's JALINSKI.org.
Okay, we're back. This from the article from the Wall Street Journal. Now, this bill, it's not even a bill. It's a Labor Department rule. See, this is how far we've gone. We don't even have bills that get debated on. So this is from the Labor Department. ESG factors such as climate change and collateral benefits other than investment returns when investing employees' money. So what this means is we put woke politics above making money for the investor. So right now, if you are a retirement or pension fund manager, you are fiduciaries, which means you are legally required to make every investment decision to maximize the retiree's financial interests based on their risk profile. The Uniform Prudent Investor Act, a model law adopted by 44 states, makes clear that no form of social investing, another word for that is socialist investing, is lawful if the investment activity entails sacrificing the interest of beneficiaries in favor of the interests supposedly benefited by pursuing the particular social cause. So right now, there's a conflict in woke policies. So the fiduciary rule passed in 2012 by the Obama administration for pension plans and 401ks, which I generally agree with in principle. When you're managing someone's money, you should manage it according to their best interest. The negative consequence of that rule is that you have a very narrow limit on the amount of funds that you can invest in within your 401k. In fact, one of the reasons we get a lot of 401k business is I go into business owners and say, fiduciary rule doesn't mean you need to have 10 funds that are low cost. Why not have 50 funds that are low cost? 35. Give your people more choices. If you're an HR director or you have a 401k option, we can help you. 888-988-JOSH. But this environmental socialist thing says instead of making money being the goal and doing right by the investor, now woke policies are the goal. It's a big, big problem because who defines the policy? Those who are in power. And you know what? I have a problem with this, whether it was left or right. I think people should just give to the causes that are near and dear to their heart. Next up, we have Glenn. Go ahead. You're on with Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback.
Yes, hi, Josh. I have two comments regarding a traditional Roth IRA. I mean, a regular IRA, not a Roth. Number one is the present value theory of money. I think it would be better to turn around and take do the traditional, where you then are reducing your gross income for tax purposes, and because you're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire, you're going to be in a much higher tax bracket now. So you're going to get that benefit of a traditional IRA doing it. And then number two, I hear a lot of people say, well, gee, I have difficulty setting aside money to put into an IRA. And what I've done in the past is that I've looked at the withholding tables and I've increased my deductions, and whatever that increase was by going to 5, 6 exemptions and taking that amount saved on the taxes, putting that into the IRA, because then at the end of the tax year, my total gross income would be reduced by the amount that I put into the IRA.
Well, there you go. That's a great tip. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, love the feedback, Glenn. Any other questions or comments?
That's it.
Thanks so much for the call. Next up, we're going to Joe on the lottery issue. Joe.
Hey, Josh, great show. No, thanks for being live, doing a live show. I'm just curious. Is age a factor in the lottery? Whether you should do annuity or all cash? I'm 71, and I just, even if you do the annuity, how much is that a year? It's for 30 years. I always play the annuity because I could not handle that big lump sum all at once. So, but is age a factor in your decision making in that?
That would not be a factor in if I had it. Why? Because what I would do is, let's say I wanted to buy some sports franchise, right? So let's say I wanted to buy a $350 million sports franchise with that lottery winnings. Although now sports franchises are more money. Yeah. I would take the lottery, I'd go to a bank and I'd say, I'm getting guaranteed payments. I'll give you that as collateral. Give me a loan, and then I can get a massive write-off. And I can use some of that to offset some of the taxes. That's why I would pick the annuity, whether you're young or old. And that's the other thing about, now if you're 71, an annuity makes sense because what is the average retiree's biggest concern? Typically, it's running out of money. Yep. So you'd get 30 years of payments. You'd have to live to your 101 to start worrying about money again. And that's the thing what a lot of people don't, people bash annuities. Well, what are we bashing? Well, it's just like a car, right? You could have a Yugo, which I never had a Yugo. You could have a Hyundai Excel from the 1990s. Yeah. You could have a Hyundai today, way different car, way better car. Yeah. You could have a Honda Accord. You could have a Lamborghini. So an annuity is just a product category. Yeah. There are high fee annuities and low fee annuities. So I would just pick a low fee one because the average thing that people worry about is I don't want to outlive my nest egg. So I don't like high fee annuities, and we've seen a lot of them that I don't like, but there are low fee ones that you could do. But
can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Yeah. Have you ever figured out, Josh, what the percentage is on the annuity that the government pays, the lump sum versus the annuity? Have you ever figured, is that like 5% a year growth or?
Yeah, it's about 5, looks like.
Yeah.
It's about 5% for life. It's probably a 30-year certain annuity. And it appears that if you take the lump sum, you're getting about half. So pretty crazy. Next up, we have Fred, who has a comment on the Labor Department rule. Go ahead, Fred.
Josh, I want to congratulate you on the magnificent way that you handled this morning. Most men would be afraid to say it like it is, Josh, like you do. And believe me, by listening to you today, I'm definitely going to become a client of yours because you're a heck of a man.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's amazing, though, Josh, that you're saying it like it is.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. So, it's true, though. I mean, they have these rules that are unlegislated. And rather than crafting a bill, it is a rule that then we have to follow or else get fined. So it's legislation by rule, and you can go Google SEC comment period ESG rule. Maybe there's still a window where you can make a comment, and you'll look at the comments and I'm sorry I didn't make a bigger deal with it before, but it really was just out, Wall Street Journal article today. I talked about it, but it didn't really hit me. The gravity of this, does that make sense? Like that they're, until this week, I'm like, garbage. But I hope it's not too late. So
we need people like you, Josh, getting out there and speaking about it. And you have the voice and you've got the public behind you, believe me.
Well, thank you. And we'd love to meet with you. Shake your hand, 888-988-JOSH. I'll be in Hackensack, Tom's River, and everywhere via Zoom. So we have clients all over the country.
You'll see me, Josh, I promise you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. So, and the point is, it's never via charity, right? Like, if you want to give to these causes of your own, I like freedom, right? So if you are pro whatever, you give to your cause. You get a charitable deduction. The government already subsidizes that. We don't really need investing to subsidize that, because then they're going to be on the boards. On every board you need this, this, and this. And this is happening while people are sleeping. People are sleeping behind the wheel. So great point, Fred. And folks, we'll take a short break. Give us a call, 888-988-JOSH.
Maybe it seems like prices can't get much higher, or that the stock market is headed for bear territory, or maybe you're worried about another great recession. Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, can help you protect your family's financial future in times like these. Tune in this weekend to the Financial Quarterback to hear how Josh and his team can help you decrease your tax liability and lower your risk. Call 888-988-5674 to take advantage of Josh's 27-point plan to achieve financial health. And when you call, you'll receive a free copy of Josh's book, Retirement Reality Check. Tune in every weekend to the Financial Quarterback and call 888-988-5674 to receive your free copy of Retirement Reality Check.
Tune in to the Financial Quarterback Josh Jelinski of the Jelinski Advisory Group this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future during these turbulent times. Looking to lower your taxes or need help securing your financial future? Then Josh and his team are the people for you. They're experts in financial economics with one mission in mind: to protect you.
Stand by, coming back.
Their 27-point checklist to their one-of-a-kind financial quarterback approach. They help you achieve financial health and guide you through the hard times of high inflation, looming recessions, and stock market meltdown. For financial security, call them now, 888-988-5674, and get your free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check.
Okay, I'm going to come up with a new fund and call it the Woke Fund. Remember that Seinfeld, the Human Fund? So, but there are funds already. If you're Catholic, you could do, there's the Ave Maria funds. There's the Timothy funds. If you're evangelical, I'm sure there are many ESG funds that have more of a left-leaning tilt. Larry Fink of BlackRock and other have instituted ESG policies. BlackRock's one of the biggest money managers in the world. And all of the no-load companies tend to have, they now have requirements that the boards have to have certain, certain amount of percentage of this type of person, certain percentage of this person. All these things are mandated via rule, via sort of an executive fiat, no regulation, via legislation. So we do not now have acting, and this has been, I don't know, I remember George W. Bush having an executive orders, and I remember Obama having executive orders, and Trump. I think these executive orders are the worst thing for democracy, because what you should do is we should have three branches of government, and the legislative is where this should be duked out. That way the people learn about it. What happens is there are these executive rules, they have these comment periods, The only people who make comments are the people paid to make comments, are generally think tanks. So, very interesting. So, folks, we'll take more of your questions at 800-321-0710. Would you rather take the lottery as a lump sum or an annuity? Now, one way to reduce your tax bill is to think charitably. According to the American Institute of CPAs, you can contribute cash up to 60% of your adjusted gross income to a public charity or a donor-advised fund and get a tax deduction for the amount in the year you make the donation. This also favors the annuity because your adjusted gross income would be less. You could also create a private foundation, donate income to it, and then determine over time how to employ it. So you could do charitable trusts, things like that. The $790 million jackpot that will be the new one will be the fourth highest jackpot in the country. So give us a call. Pat says the longer you wait to annuitize your annuity, the better or worse. For example, an elderly person who's not well with a variable annuity from 1995, currently worth $60,000. Well, Pat, it depends. This is a good question. Also, really good question. A lot of you have these annuities with income riders and you're like 84 and you haven't taken them out. Generally, you want to start your income now, but I don't know what annuitize means for you, Pat. I would need to see what you mean. If by annuitize you mean you surrender the insurance company the money when you die, not a fan of that. I hate those annuities. But if the money still passes to your heirs and it's a function of getting the income value, so a lot of people, you'll have a real value of your account called the accumulation value, and that might be 60 grand. Let's say it's 60,000, but your income value will be 120. That income value often does not pass to your heirs, only the 60. So it's better to turn the income on in certain cases and then take that and invest that in a brokerage account. That way you're actually getting income off of those fees that you've been paying on the variable annuity. So there is no right answer of whether an annuity is right for you. There's no right answer of whether you should take the income from it today or 10 years from now. We have a program that will tell you the right answer for you. So call us at 888-988-JOSH. If you call us right now for the free review at 888-988-JOSH, we will give you a copy of the book at no charge, Retirement Reality Check. Or you get the 15 Ways to Save Taxes review, free when you schedule. And keep your no obligation review at 888-988-JOSH. If you have no reduction in income from the lottery, the IRS would get a large percentage of it that would reduce the windfall to $226 million, not counting state taxes. There also could be state taxes, either withheld or due, unless you live where there's no income tax or lottery winnings aren't taxed. Those levies could be more than 10% depending on where you live if you bought the lottery ticket. So, for example, if you live in New Jersey, you'd have 47 cents on every dollar. Gone. Why do we live here again? The chance of a single ticket matching all 6 numbers drawn in Mega Millions is about 1 in 302 million. For Powerball, whose jackpot is an estimated 101 million for Wednesday night's drawing, it's 1 in 292 million. So there's a lot to talk about, but I really want to hear from you. So we'll take our final break of the hour. Call us for the 15 Ways to Save Taxes guide at 888-988-JOSH. Next up, 75% of middle-class households say their income is falling behind the cost of living. Up next, this is Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Don't touch that dial.
Tune in to the financial quarterback Josh Jelinski this weekend and learn how to protect your financial future in a down economy. Josh and his team at the Jelinski Advisory Group can help you lower your taxes and lower your risk in these uncertain times with a 27-point checklist designed to improve your financial health. Whether you're worried about runaway prices, fear of an upcoming recession, or a stock market meltdown, tune in to the Financial Quarterback and count on Josh Jelinski to call the play. For a free copy of Josh's book, The Retirement Reality Check, call 888-988-5674. That's 888-988-5674. Or visit Jelinski.org. That's JALINSKI.org.
I was just informed the comment for climate-related disclosures closed June 17th, 2022, but that's for climate-related disclosures. So that was sowing the seed for that. So there will be, you got to check with the SEC.gov for these comment periods. Here's the thing. I'm all for the environment, right? I don't want to see pollution. I grew up on the Jersey Shore. I don't want to see frankly, I don't want to see eye pollution. I don't want to see windmills. How many beautiful birds are being killed by windmills every year in the name of environmental justice? Where is the justice for the egret, the heron, the tern, the seagull, or whatever? Now, you might not feel sorry for the seagull, but there will be some endangered species that will be killed. It will destroy eco habitats, but let's say wind is good. I'm all for solar. I'm all for what the government's doing now. They're giving a tax break for people to do solar on their homes and businesses. I've never thought about doing that. I'm thinking of doing it this year. Also, I bought a Tesla, so I'm contributing to the environment. But what happens when my Tesla dies? What happens to the battery when it's in the soil eventually and it leaches into the drinking water? So you got to realize there's always a trade-off, right? But I think generally most people are for the environment, but for the choice, not for, I pick up litter when I see it in the street. Next up, we have Edward, who believes government regulation is needed. Go ahead, Edward.
Yeah, my main thing is that we've all known that plastic has been a terrible thing for the environment since like the 90s, but yet the majority of plastic that's choking us to death right now has been developed since 2005. So how do I trust that private industry is actually doing anything when I could see an example as clear as that? Well,
I would say that's a great example of where private solutions are better. Take into factor a lot of these plastics that are used were PET plastics. They're plastics that were used by environmental mandates already. So thanks for the call. Good point. But I don't know about you, but I'm a perfect example. We have glass everything. Our kids have glass bottles. They break them. We recycle them. We love glass. But that's a choice thing. Now what they do is if they mandate so much plastic and the plastic leaches into your water, that's the thing. There's always unintended consequences to these government mandates. I think we can all agree, but they've done plastics on just the plastic water. So what are you going to ban Poland Springs? Then people are going to die because they're not going to have enough water. It's like I do not like plastic drinking water because I've known about plastics leaching in. Think about it on a hot day. When you ever have a bottle of water that's left out, it tastes like plastics in it. We don't drink those because a lot of the new plastic's different than the old plastic. I'm all for going back to glass bottles, and I have my thermos I bring around and all that, but we shall see. I don't think usually government fiat is not the way to change policy. It's by appealing to people's self-interest. So I don't want to drink a lot of plastic. So I try to, so we have a water filtration system in our house, and I fill my water jug as much as I can. So folks, give us a call, 888-988-JOSH if you want the 15 ways to save taxes now review. 75% of middle-class households say their income is falling behind the cost of living. I'll talk more about that on tomorrow's show. But folks, what about you? Make sure that you take back your financial freedom. Learn about tax saving strategies. Learn about income increases on your money and take advantage of every available savings opportunity. You can call us 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH, 888-988-JOSH.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Jelensky Advisory Group. Any awards, rankings, or recognition by unaffiliated third parties or publications, including 5-Star Wealth Manager, Advisory of the Year finalist by Senior Market Advisor, and top of the $1 Million Roundtable, are in no way indicative of the advisor's future performance or any individual client's investment success. No award, ranking, or recognition should be construed as a current or past endorsement of Josh Jelensky or Wealth Quarterback LLC. Information regarding specific awards, rankings, or recognitions is available on the Wealth Quarterback website at jelensky.org. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. Investment strategies such as asset allocation, diversification, or rebalancing do not assure or guarantee better performance and cannot eliminate the risk of investment losses. There are no guarantees that a portfolio employing these or any other strategy will outperform a portfolio that does not engage in such strategies. This broadcast should not be construed by any client or prospective client as a solicitation to effect or attempt to effect transactions in securities or the rendering of personalized investment advice. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions, the information discussed in this broadcast may no longer be reflective of current positions or recommendations. While information presented is believed to be factual and up to date, Josh Jelensky and Wealth Quarterback do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. The tax and estate planning information discussed is general in nature, is provided for informational purposes only, and should not be construed as legal or tax advice. Listeners should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding their specific legal or tax situation. Investment advisory services offered through Wealth Quarterback LLC.
WOR and